Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Double Play. In this video, we're going to be previewing the 2023 Rangers season. It's kind of an exciting one. They've added some big pieces the last couple years. We're also going to be recapping their 2022 offseason, kind of talk about what's next for them in Texas for the Rangers. And Jack, let's get started off. Obviously, the biggest addition, you can take it away with all of their additions, but we know who the biggest addition of this offseason.
Now, you said that one with your chest like you meant it. I'm excited for this Rangers preview. We just recorded the A's one. Not happy about that, but I'm excited to talk about the Rangers. If you want to go back on our channel, we actually sat down a couple weeks ago with Donnie Ecker, the Rangers hitting coach. This offseason was not geared, our bench coach, former hitting coach for the San Francisco Giants. This offseason, not as much geared towards him, the hitting guru. That was last offseason where they brought in Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, but this offseason, pitching all over the place. It starts with Jacob deGrom, who, of course, one of the biggest free agent signings Texas has ever seen, one of the biggest free agent signings in Major League Baseball this past year, if not the biggest on the pitching side at least. You also have Andrew Heaney, who was a Dodger last year, former Angel. They bring back Martin Perez, who was their best starting pitcher in 2022. And then you also add Nathan Eovaldi and Jake Odorizzi. So some teams, you could roll that out as your 5 starters, and that'd be better than a lot of other teams in the majors. But I don't know where to start with this one, Ryan. I think we got to start with Jacob deGrom, or just overall who you think is the biggest addition or subtraction. I will note the only person that they really lost was Cole Calhoun, but they pretty much added an entire starting rotation in the offseason, which you never really see.
Yeah, it's of course deGrom is the biggest addition here. You know, he's the best pitcher in baseball when he's healthy. He vastly increased the ceiling of this team. If he's able to stay healthy and stay on the field, that gives you I know we don't like wins as a pitcher stat, but that gives you 15 to 20 wins in itself that you might not get without Jacob deGrom. So, like I said, he's the best pitcher in baseball. Potentially lifts them to a playoff team if they're able to put it all together and stay healthy. So yeah, the biggest addition here is Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jacob deGrom as well. Pretty much just going to echo the same things you. If he can stay healthy, is a top 5 overall player in the entire league after adding 2 of the biggest pieces on the market last year. That's just huge to see from Texas, and it's going to be big for their pitching if he can stay healthy. Another move I'll highlight at least is bringing back Martin Perez, because I thought that after the season he had last year, they would have been dumb to let him go somewhere else. And then there's a lot of upside. You have Nathan Eovaldi, who struggled a little bit last year, but has shown he can be one of the better pitchers in baseball in the past, especially when the Red Sox were going on those playoff runs. Andrew Heaney, long been seen as one of the best arm talents as in the pitching market in baseball. Had an up and down season with the Dodgers last year because he was hurt for a decent amount of it. But again, if someone can tap in and find that true potential, could be not an ace, but a top level starter. And then Jake Odorizzi, who I think is solid depth. But pretty much when you go in and you add an entire rotation in the offseason after adding some of the best hitters on the market, it's so fun to see the Rangers going all in. And Jacob deGrom's the big piece, but they also made some underrated moves that I liked as well.
And oh, by the way, they have Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker waiting in their prospects to be potentially a solid 1 and 2 punch themselves once they get fully developed. So yeah, the complete overall pitching staff. You've got lots of depth, got prospects waiting. So I love it for the Rangers. And I guess we can kind of segue into what their grade is. Maybe I'm overgrading kind of looking at this now, but I'm going with an A-. So I think the Rangers are very committed to winning, and it's like I said, I love it. And there are few supporting stars or few supporting pieces for their stars away from being kind of a lock playoff team and a team that can potentially make noise in the playoffs when they are healthy. They've got the stars now these last 2 off seasons, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, and now Jacob deGrom. They just need to stay healthy and keep doing small pieces to improve your roster and kind of build a supporting cast around it, whether that's developing some prospects they have that are solid or kind of signing some more underrated guys, which they also did this offseason. So I love what the Rangers front office is doing, and I think could be it's a great stepping stone for them, is what I'll say.
I'm going with an A- as well. We don't spoil these with each other ahead of time. We just both went A-. I gave the Mariners a B+ in Monday's video. I think this is a step up, but I couldn't go full A+ because I do have a couple of problems with the way they went about this offseason. Because, I mean, we talk about a pitching staff overhaul, but did they really need to add 5 starting pitchers this offseason? when they could have allocated some of those funds to, I think, filling in one more outfield spot. We did the rankings, and I think they probably have the worst left fielder in baseball coming into this year in Josh Smith. I think they could have gone and added one more to, they have Adolis Garcia and Leody Taveras. Need one more because you have the highs of Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, but with some of these other balanced lineups we've been talking about, that's not the Rangers. I don't think Josh Smith is going to be anything huge for the Rangers in 2023, and so maybe instead of adding a Jake Odorizzi via trade, or instead of signing both Evaldi and Andrew Heaney, they could have brought in at least one position player this offseason. But overall, bringing in Jacob deGrom, I think, puts you in that like A category by himself, and they add some other pieces. There's some drawbacks for me, but I had to go A-.
In terms of what to expect, I guess if you've seen the Angels video, kind of similar here, but I'm going with a third place finish in the division. I think the Angels are going to get fourth. And I think that puts them in the wild card race. And if they put it together, like I said, their ceiling is in that wild card in those playoffs. And so I think they're definitely going to be in the wild card race if they stay healthy, and potentially even a wild card spot for them, which is very exciting to say for the Rangers, who have been handing out the big bucks recently.
Yeah, for me, I literally had no idea where to go with what to expect for this team, because that's what's really just fun about this roster, is you do not know what to expect. They could be one of the best teams in baseball, or they could be not very good again, because last year we came into the offseason with high expectations and they were disappointing once again. Of course, I think this year you have a little bit more of a cushion because you have a deeper starting rotation, but also all the guys that they brought in the pitching market are volatile guys who are very injury prone, like an Andrew Heaney or Jacob deGrom, where if they perform the way you want them to, are going to be your 1 and 2 starters, but if they don't, those are two guys that you gave a lot of money, and now they're not going to be playing for your team. I'd say with health, probably one of the best infields and maybe the best rotations in the league in general. But it's hard to know what to expect. I think it'll kind of be similar between them and the Angels, but I could see them separate themselves and move a little bit towards that Mariners side of the AL West, where it's Mariners and Astros at the top right now. But I'd say they probably finish third, but there's a lot of potential for this team, and I think that's what's fun, is that you just don't know what to expect.
And so I'm going to hit you with a pretty bold prediction here. I think Rangers fans, do not get mad at me if this is not a prediction anymore come our actual full season preview show coming.
I already know what you're going to say.
About a month or so. What do you think I'm going to say?
I think you're going to say that Corey Seager is going to win the MVP.
No. However, thank you for reminding me, because I was going to add... So I was going to say Corey Seager top 5 in MVP. That was something I was going to add, but that wasn't the big bold prediction. My big bold prediction is they get the last wild card spot and they win a wild card series and move on in the playoffs. That's my bold prediction for them this year.
I like it. That's a spicy take. I mean, it definitely could happen. I'm not going to discount your prediction, but that is bold, I think. The AL makes it a little bit more likely. I think the AL's top heavy with the Astros and the Yankees, and then the rest of it is anything can happen. And the bottom, I think, of the AL, where the teams competing for those wild cards last year were not all that great. And so the Rangers, they could find themselves there. I'll go with a Corey Seager prediction, and I'm just going to say he returns to form. I think that's one of the easier predictions to make, because he was one of, if not the most unlucky player in baseball last year with the shift, with just hitting the ball hard and not getting much from it. So the shift going away, I think he's going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries, and he's too good not to find his way back. I think you saw him last year get out of his own element a little bit by trying to hit so many home runs, because he just realized, if I keep hitting line drives, I'm going to keep getting out, which is never what you want to think as a hitter. He ended up hitting a lot more bombs, but had a disappointing year, I think many would consider it. Now the entire field's open for him. He's a very great pure hitter, and if they do find themselves in the playoffs, he's going to be one of the best hitters in baseball, because he's been one of the best postseason performers in recent memory.
Yeah, I would love to see that. The jersey right here, that's a Corey Seager jersey. So I'm a big Corey Seager fan. So Rangers fans, I would love to see that happen. And he's actually kind of become a sexy pick to have a great season. People are recognizing the numbers of what hurt him with the shift. But I also saw a TikTok today. I don't know if I sent it to you. It was probably like 20 minutes before we started recording. I saw it. But it was Corey Seager as one of the best value bets in terms of odds to win MVP this year. I think his odds are plus 5,000, maybe something crazy. So Corey Seager, a great season is not unlikely, and a lot of people are thinking that it could happen. And I hope it happens. I love Corey. Be able to go to some Ranger games, so it'd be fun to see him play well.
Yeah, I think it might be hard for him to get on that stage, because I think when people go to look for MVP, at least when we started, everything is sorted by WAR, and at the not being a phenomenal shortstop defender might lower him in WAR. But if he's able to have an amazing hitting season, where I think you have to be far and away the best hitting shortstop in the American League, which I think it's possible for him to be the best, but to be that much better than the rest of the shortstop competition that he probably need to be to win MVP, I'm not sure. To be a top 5, I can see it, but for him to win over all the guys that we've mentioned, like an Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Jose Ramirez, there's so many guys, and there's a reason why some of these people, like Jose Ramirez, have never won an MVP. It's just because there's a lot of talent in the American League, and it's hard to be the best player in a certain division or a certain league.
Yeah, so Rangers fans, let us know what you think about your Rangers for the 2023 season. It's going to be a fun one to watch. We're excited to look forward to it. Hopefully they can stay healthy. We're crossing our fingers. But comment down below, what do you expect for them in 2023 and going forward? Can they actually win a playoff series? Like I said, let me know, and make sure you stick around, like, and subscribe to see more baseball content. We're going to be doing all 30 MLB teams in terms of season preview, so we're excited for that, and we'll see you next time.